Hey guys, so I got a KRYTAC Mark II PDW. Now this isn't just any KRYTAC Mark II PDW. This is a dual sector gear. So the guy that owns this gun actually lives up north in my state, and I've played with him once, and he's always wanted me to build him a gun. From what he said, he always wanted something that he's seen on my channel, and you know, I played with him personally, so he's seen the guns that I use, and he wanted something that was really good, like my personal guns, or guns that I put together for other people. So he ended up deciding on a DSG. So it is a KRYTAC PDW. It is a Mark II, so you're going to get the Mark II style body, including the straight trigger. Let's just start from the back. So we got a Matrix stubby stock. This is what I have in mine. I had to modify the backplate here because I actually got this in a trade. Actually, I purchased a V12 with a lower receiver, and this stock was on it. And it did not come with this little ring here, so I had to modify a standard one. I cut it with a Dremel, and it fits perfectly, no issues, no wobble. I have one of these exact stocks on my DSG, and I love it, and so he kind of went for that look. I also had to use a different spring guide. I had to modify a spring guide because the way this stock works is the screw is not the same thread pitch as the receiver, because KRYTAC's thread into the receiver, their stocks. So I had to modify that. I've done that before. I did that on my personal DSG, but then I switched from a KRYTAC gearbox to a VFC. So then I could use a standard spring guide. But I also have a friend that I built him a KRYTAC DSG. I have that on my channel as well. I had to modify a spring for that because he wanted this stock as well. It's a common stock for dual sector gears, kind of stubby builds. All three DSGs that I put together this year have actually used this exact stock, which is kind of funny. And all three of them are KRYTAC bodies, so it's really interesting. It's got obviously a KRYTAC Defiance pistol grip. The ambi selector switch I actually kept. I forget if he was a left or righty, but it was pretty easy to put it back in there. This screw didn't strip. This screw strips really easily. It didn't strip, so I just thought I'll just put it back together just in case he is a lefty and he wants that feature. So I didn't ask. I just went ahead and put it back in, just as it was. Standard magazine catch, charging handle. Bolt lock feature does not work. It cannot work because when you put the BTC in there, the trigger board takes the room up of the little post that goes through the gearbox to allow the bolt, the fake bolt, to lock back. But fake bolt's still in there. It's a little tight, so it kind of gets stuck. A lot of times I take these out because I'd rather just to adjust the hop up without having to hold this back. So he might find it annoying to have to do this, but I just left it in there. I don't know if he'll care. This sight is just one that I had laying around. This is not what he has on here, but I would recommend him to put like a T1 and a riser on here. And then I don't know if he has a flashlight or not. If he doesn't, get one. If you do, good for you, but he plays a lot of indoor, and a flashlight's going to be perfect for a gun like this. Tiny key mod rail. This thing is tiny. There's a rail segment on the bottom, so I don't know if he uses a grip. It did have the orange tip on there, so I ripped that off and put the black one on there. And this thing just looks nice. It'll look a lot nicer with the T1 with a riser and like a flashlight. Like if he moved this over here, put a flashlight there and a pressure pad on this side here, and velcroed it or zip tied it or some sort of method so he could hold it like this and push in on it and have the light here. So yeah, that'd be cool. In my opinion, that's what I would do. So with the externals out of the way, the internals. So hop-up wise, it is completely stock. Stock barrel, stock bucking, stock hop-up. It was a brand new gun. He played with it twice, so there was no reason to swap those, and it actually shoots pretty dang good. I was actually surprised on how well it shoots, but the gearbox work, you know, since I did that, all the gearbox components properly, man, it just shoots great. So gearbox components, it's got an SHS high torque motor, which is a 16 TPA. It's not like a 22 or 24 that like a ZCI high torque, which is a 22. So it's like a balanced motor. This is 16 TPA, just like the ASG 30K boost. Like it's a balanced motor, but they call it their high torque. So we're running that. We're running the BTC Spectre Mark II, the Bluetooth one, brand new. This was the last one that I had, and I sold it to him. Got the KRYTAC straight trigger with pretty short trigger pull. I didn't do it super short, so it's not like hair trigger, but it's very short. The shortest trigger pull I'm sure he's ever felt. So it's got those parts. It's also got a SHS middle rack piston, KRYTAC piston head, which seals perfectly. It's got KRYTAC nozzle, KRYTAC cylinder head, KRYTAC cylinder, tappet plate. I did modify the tappet plate for the DSG. I cut a few coils off of the tappet plate spring to help the nozzle return, which is pretty much, you want to do that with any DSG. It has a SHS DSG sector gear and the stock spur and bevel. Shimming's pretty good, no problem there. He did purchase a SiegeTech 1401 gear set, but there's just no way it was going to fit in here. Even though I put the KRYTAC steel bushings in here, they were still way too tight shimming. And that would just cause motor heat, battery heat, wire heat, and chance the MOSFET getting overheated. So it wasn't worth running the 14-to-1s. So I'm probably going to try to sell the 14-to-1s for him so he can get them sold, get some money back. So it's got the stock 18-to-1 or 16-to-1. I'm honestly quite not sure what the KRYTACs come as. Some people have said 16-to-1, 18-to-1, whatever. They're one of those. There's not much of a difference between the two, but yeah, it's got the steel KRYTAC bushings and the SHS DSG sector, which I use all the time. My DSG has a SHS, runs fine. I've never had any issues. OC Airsoft, they use pretty much exclusively the SHS, I'm pretty sure. So no problems there. Rate of fire wise, it's getting 40 rounds a second. FPS is actually higher than normal. 350? No, we're shooting about 375. That is with a brand new Matrix M160. Matrix springs shoot a little hot, plus with the tiny barrel. I normally try to use M150s and DSGs at 350 FPS so that I can get a weaker spring, quicker cycle. But with it being such a short barrel and the FPS limit at his field, the indoor field that he plays at is 370, which at that FPS, it'll allow him to get a little bit better range and power outdoor. So he'll be able to play with this outdoor. I know there's an outdoor field that's probably about an hour away from him. It can't be any further than that. That he's never been to, I don't think. So he could definitely go there and play with this for sure, especially if they allow full auto, because he'll have the advantage on rate of fire. Even semi-auto, you can spam this thing as fast as you want. So we'll get to shooting here. I haven't shot it a whole lot. I only got a chance to shoot maybe 200 BBs out of it with .2s just to get a chrono reading. This is overhopped. He is going to be playing with 2.5s, so this is .2s, a little bit of an overhop. Let's see the feet per second. 376, 375, 373, 373, 374, 374, 373, 375. Extremely consistent, and that is thanks to not only me, but the KRYTAC piston heads are incredible at sealing. They really are. Plus, cutting the springs on the nozzle or the tappet plate spring allows that nozzle to seal properly, and spacing the hoppet back against the gearbox allows for beautiful sealing. So I'll let you see this. 375 with a .2, 1.31 joules. Let's try that here. Yeah, full auto just is not feeding, but you go back to semi, and you can span the trigger, and it feeds fine on semi. So again, mid caps are going to be pretty much a strictly semi-auto option. Alright, so we got a mid cap with 2.5s, so I'll turn this on and change it to 2.5s so we can get a, not 3.6s, 2.5s. We'll get a joule reading. Oh, man, 1.35, 1.37, 1.39, 1.39, 1.39. I'll go by FPS now. 341, 345, 345, 343, 343. So extremely consistent with 2.5s or 2s. it's just peppering the heck out of it. There's a skip here and there. This is a cheap Chinese mid-cap. You guys in the next video.